Hi, okay, so last time I put out a video on cold calling, I said that I would also put out another one on being prepared. So I've been lucky enough to work with lots of great salespeople, very talented people, and some in high profile organisations. Now, when I've worked with them, one of the things that they kind of struggle with, which is hard to believe with the sort of talents they have, is cold calling. So this is why I think it's really important to just see if I can give you some tips that might help you. It's the same sort of tips that I've helped other people with, other salespeople with, and they seem to work. So the first thing that I would say is that making cold calls are really one of those things where you might love it, you might hate it. Very few love it, and if you hate it, it's probably because you've got a fear of it within yourself. So then you've got to ask yourself, am I prepared enough to make the cold call? And being prepared is about giving you the confidence that you need to overcome your own barriers. So how do we build confidence? Okay, so 3 key things. 1, know what it is that you're offering. If you've ever done one of those, 10-second elevator pitches, then you'll know what I'm talking about. What is it that you offer? How could you put it across to anybody, from a janitor through to the sort of senior executive in the organisation? So you've got to be confident enough to be able to put across what it is that you're offering. That's number 1. So know your product, have confidence in your product, whether it's a product, a brand or a service. Have full confidence in it, know how you want to put it across. Now, number 2. This is really important because it kind of links with the first one, but it links in this way. You have a product or a service or a brand, but at this moment in time it means nothing to the person you're about to call. So you've got to find a link between what you offer and what they do. So in other words, what's in it for them? In order for you to be able to put your offering across in such a way that it will raise an interest to the person on the other end of the phone, or at least make the other person on the other end of the phone aware that this might be an important call to the business, then you need to be prepared. And to do that, you've got to look up on the website, you've got to look at the social media, use all the kinds of resources for information that you possibly can to understand where that company is right now. What are they doing right now? What's their focus right now? How does your brand, service or product help towards that focus or service? Where you'll find this? Typically news pages, who they're working with. Look at if they've just hired somebody, who have they hired? If they're investing in somebody new and a new role, especially a senior one, then it's probably an important part of their strategy going forward. So it's important to just have a look. See how your service can do something for them. How can it add value to the business that you're about to speak to? So number 1, know what it is you have confidence in that. Secondly, have the confidence in being able to put across to the business or the potential client how that can add value to what they're trying to do right now at this moment in time, without being clever. Because of course the other thing to remember is that it's wiser to be in their shoes and not one step ahead of them. Try not to be too clever. All you want to do is put your product or service across in such a way that it hits home with them. So the thing to think about is not just news pages, how about looking at their language? Use language that's common, because that always helps to break barriers down with people. So think about that. Now, last time I also said that have a qualifying list. Well, you should have a list of questions that you would need to ask in case you can't get through to the person that you need to speak to straight away. Because once you've made this call, your next call to them should be a lot warmer, and you should be better armed with information that will help you to get through next time. So in order to do that, just remember what I said on the last video about batting a question back. Keep asking questions to get more information. So some key things there. 1, know what it is, have confidence in what you offer. Secondly, find a link, common language, projects that they're working on, current values, mission statements. Look for specific things on the website that can help you to make a link between what you have and where they might be looking to place emphasis and resource right now. And thirdly, have know what questions, what information you would like to know about that business. Maybe it's a few qualifying questions that you might need at this stage, or it could simply be just some questions about when and who you need to be speaking to right there and then, or when you call back. Now, when you've got all of that, then you might make a couple of calls and you might think, it's not working. If it's then not working, then here's something to ask yourself. Would you listen to you? That's when you can stop, rethink, have have some reflection time on what you're saying, and think to yourself, would you give up time for the person on the other end of the phone if they sounded exactly like you did? And if you're hesitating to say yes, then you need to rethink what you're saying to the customer. Okay, try that. Hopefully that should work.